Working hard is important, but there's something that matters even more. Believing in yourself.
Happy February 1st. I have my teacup with hearts. I'm going to crochet some Christmas tree ornaments for February because I'm keeping my tree up. I have the garland finished, I think. Well, it's done. I hope it's long enough. You can see a little preview, and now I just need some ornaments. I have this really pretty pink yarn with some shimmer sparkle in it. I have these two options that are a hot pink and a pale pink. I have a classic red. I don't know if there's a difference between Christmas red and Valentine's red, but I use that red for Christmas. So I hope there's not a difference. And then I have this yarn. It is multicolored with various pinks, but then there's green in there. So I don't know if I'm going to use that one. I am hoping to get some hearts on there, see what I can find on Pinterest. But it's February 1st. It's a Sunday night. I'm cozy. I have my tea. I have a movie on. I'm ready to close out the weekend with some crafting. I'm at a stopping point with my first ornament. I have filling in the other room. It's just 11:30 at night and I'd like to go to bed. But I think it'll look really cute. I am following a tutorial online, so it's 2 sides and then single crochet border around. And I don't know if I need anything other than hearts. I think hearts are fine. I saw a few other ideas, but I think just a tree of multicolored hearts sounds like a fun Valentine's Day. Yay! This will look so cute. Anyway, first one. Almost done. I'm going to bed. This is so happy and fun. So my project of the week was done. I finished my crochet hearts earlier in the week. In a perfect world, I think that I would like crochet a little, read a little, crochet a little, read a little. I don't think that's how my brain's built. So I ended up crocheting mad for like 3 days straight. And then I read for like 3 or 4 days straight. First February read is all done. East of Eden by John Steinbeck. Can I just say, what a fantastic physical reading experience. I love a paperback, but when you get a hefty paperback, it's a little uncomfy. The pages are beautiful. They're not all the same length, so it's like a jagged whatever. And it really only presented some challenges when I was on like page 550 and I'm trying to hold it up and my arm's getting a cramp. But this was such a, like, Penguin. This is their Steinbeck Centennial Edition. What a wonderful book. This is like a sturdy, solid book. Anyway, it's kind of a weird thing to say. I started this book in October, and then end of year madness happened. I had some travel, holidays, all the things. And I was enjoying the story so much that I was tempted to finish it on digital. I ended up waiting so I could finish it physically because I was finding a lot of good nuggets that I was highlighting, and I just wanted to be able to read it and highlight it. So it took some time, although that made me sad. It was worth the wait. I found this book online because of a quote that says, "And now that you don't have to be perfect, you can be good." I was very intrigued by that quote, so that was my little scavenger hunt for the book. As I'm reading it, and I'm reading, and I'm reading, and I'm reading, and I still don't see it, I'm trying to figure out, okay, what character, who says this to who? It was a fun little scavenger hunt, although I do think that I have a different favorite quote in the book. I wonder if I can find it. There were so many very good quotes. I know it's on the right side of the page. Found it. Okay, it says, "Lord, how the day passes. It's like a life. So quickly when we don't watch it, and so slowly when we do." There were so many very good, quick lines, quick lessons. I'm going to read the about, and then I am going to read the author's note because I think that he, in the author's note, sums up this book as perfectly as it could possibly summed up. In his journal, John Steinbeck called East of Eden the first book, and indeed it has the primordial power and simplicity of myth. Set in the rich farmland of California's Salinas Valley, this sprawling and often brutal novel follows the intertwined destinies of two families, the Trasks and the Hamiltons, whose generations helplessly reenact the fall of Adam and Eve and the poisonous rivalry of Cain and Abel. Adam Trask came to California from the east to farm and raise his family on the new rich land, but the birth of his twins, Cal and Aaron, brings his wife to the brink of madness, and Adam is left alone to raise his boys to manhood. One boy thrives, nurtured by the love of all those around him. The other grows up in loneliness, enveloped by a mysterious darkness. First published in 1952, East of Eden is the work in which Steinbeck created his most mesmerizing characters and explored his most enduring themes: the mystery of identity, the inexplicability of love, and the murderous consequences of love's absence. A masterpiece of Steinbeck's later years, East of Eden is a powerful and vastly ambitious novel that is at once a family saga and a modern retelling of the book of Genesis. Okay, then the author's note. I'm normally not one for an author's note, to be honest. I kind of just skip to the book. I feel like it kind of breaks the fourth wall for me. Like, what do you mean a real person made this? I think this is all just completely made up and just made itself a book. So he dedicates it to Pat, his editor. Dear Pat, you came upon me carving some kind of little figure out of wood, and you said, "Why don't you make something for me?" I asked what you wanted, and you said a box. What for? To put things in? What things? Whatever you have, you said. Well, here's your box. Nearly everything I have is in it, and it is not full. Pain and excitement are in it, and feeling good or bad, and evil thoughts and good thoughts, the pleasure of design and some despair, and the indescribable joy of creation. And on top of these are all the gratitude and love I have for you. And still, the box is not full. Beauty. So, that's kind of everything that this book is. It's exactly what it says. The mystery of identity, inexplicability of love, murderous consequences of love's absence, pain and excitement, feeling good or bad in evil thoughts and good thoughts, designs and despair, the indescribable joy of creation. It was wonderful. It's a classic for a reason. And I'm really happy that I found this. I actually found it, fun fact, at Half Price Books. And as I'm reading it, maybe I started reading it in November. Yeah. I started reading it in November, and I remember that because I was on a flight in the first few days of November, and I had like completely highlighted a whole page, and I was trying to like move the book around. I mentioned I don't really like traveling with books this hefty, and that trip was like, yeah, we're not taking this on another trip. But I ended up finding a printed out email. I forget what it said. It was an email informing all of their friends of their new email address. It was Mary and Vern. That was their names, and it is dated July 7th, 2003. And that was really fun. So I found that in my book on a flight in November 2025 of an email address update from 2003. So that was fun. What else? What else is my reading update for the year? I read the rest of Throne of Glass series. In 2025, I started the year with reading ACOTAR. So 2026, I started the year with Throne of Glass. It was really good. I think how I've compartmentalized it in my head is I think I enjoyed the final product of ACOTAR. I know we still have another book to wait for, but her writing style and maturity in ACOTAR, to my understanding, and I'm saying this by someone who really has not thrown herself into the Sarah J. Maas lore, but to my understanding, she started writing Throne of Glass when she was very young, maybe 16 or 17, and I can kind of tell in the development of Throne of Glass compared to the development of ACOTAR. So I think that ACOTAR as a pretty little bow and like a final product, I think I prefer. However, the actual characters and then plot points and the entire realm of Throne of Glass, I prefer to ACOTAR. So ACOTAR has a special place in my heart, but Throne of Glass, I think about all the time. So that was my January. I started January with, I think I was on Heir of Fire the first week of January and read the rest of the series. Empire of Storms is my favorite. What else did I read? I read Shield of Sparrows in a book club. Really enjoyed that one. It was funny because the MMC in Shield of Sparrows to me gave like human vibes of Rowan. But I think if he were a human, he would be, I don't want to spoil Shield of Sparrows, but he would be that main character. I don't want to say his name. What else did I read? Then I think I went straight into East of Eden to finish. Now I have Valentine's Day this week. I have to pick what I'm going to read. I was thinking of reading a romance, but I have actually been thinking a lot about the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. I think I've been thinking about that a lot because I read it a year ago. So it's been coming into my brain more. I didn't realize when I started Once Upon a Broken Heart that it came after the Caraval series. So I actually think I'm going to start the Caraval series. I haven't decided, but that'll be for the next one. But my tree is done. So I finished my tree earlier in the week. I think the ornaments turned out really well. I have hot pink, 2 different hot pinks, red and a light pink, and then a white garland around the whole thing. And I think she's beautiful. She has been a much needed source of happiness for me. The actual creation of the hearts, I followed a video that I will include somewhere, and I made some modifications. I think in the video it's based on a starting chain of 6, and I think the modification I made was to change it to a starting chain of 4. The like main weird thing, and this is as much for me as it is for anyone who might happen to find this video, it was a starting chain and then working back into the second chain from hook, but it was like turning it and working on the, is it the 3rd loop? The horizontal bar, is that the, I don't think that's the 3rd loop. Whatever that is on the back side of the chain. And that's how all of the hearts start. I don't know why. Don't ask me that. I was instructed to do so by the video and I did it, and I followed that for all of the hearts. But I did like, I think the original was starting chain of 6 and then 5 single crochets into the horizontal bars on the back side of the chain, and then chain 1 turn for each one, and then 2 single crochet into the first, single crochets, and then 2 single crochet into the last. So that's kind of like, that's how the pattern went. And I don't know, I'm not very good at talking, but I can write, so I'll write down the instructions for, again, more for myself. I'm sure I'm going to want to make my hearts again, and I'm sure I'm not going to remember. But she's so beautiful. I can't stop looking at her. I keep looking at her in the camera. She's so cute. Anyway, those were my pages and project from the first week in February. My little crochet hearts project done, and East of Eden pages done. Very successful, honestly. This held me accountable, so we'll try it again. Don't know what the project is, don't know what the pages are, but we'll figure it out. Until then, enjoy my tree.